Go. What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody. What's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of Standing Out.
What's going on, everybody? How are you doing? Trey Griggs here, host of this fine show, Standing Out, a podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. So excited that you're here with us today. We had a great guest today, as we always do. First of all, I want to say thank you to our friends over at Reeds Across America for getting us on their Trucking Tuesday lineup every Tuesday night, an episode of Standing Out with a great guest on the show. Appreciate you guys being a part of that. If you're not connected with Reeds Across America, what are you doing? Need you to change the way you're showing up in life. In fact, we just had their annual Wreaths Across America event where we lay wreaths on the tombstones of veterans all across the country, over 4,000 cemeteries, and one near you. So you can do it next year. I know it's a little early, but you can do it next year. Check them out at wreathsacrossamerica.org. It is not too early to sponsor or scholarship a wreath. And you can do that actually with us. You can partner with us, wreathsacrossamerica.org/standing out. You can sponsor a wreath. They make them right here in the United States. They make them up in Maine. Truck drivers deliver them all across the country. It's an incredible event. And I'm sure you're going to be seeing more about it on social media here of the event and some of those types of things. So again, check them out at wreathsacrossamerica.org, a phenomenal organization to be connected with. And you can take your family, you can take your company, you can do it yourself. You have veterans in your family, you want to honor them, especially if you're near the cemetery where they were laid, you can actually lay the wreath on their tombstone. It's an incredible experience to really remember the heroes of the past and teach the future generations about freedom and liberty. So it's tremendous. Also, before we get started today, I want to give a shout out to our friend Josh Lyles over at Sales-CRM for sponsoring the show. We appreciate him. Listen, if you are a freight broker and you're using some regular old CRM out there, man, you're missing out. Not all CRMs are created equal, especially when they aren't created with freight brokerage in mind. This is a CRM built by freight brokers for freight brokers. So check it out at sales-crm.com, or you can learn more about it at our website, betaconsultinggroup.com/standing-out. You can request to get a demo. Check it all out. But I'm telling you what, if you're a freight broker and you're in sales, all the processes, the workflows, it's all built with you in mind in your processes. So check them out again, sales-crm.com. Josh is a good basketball pick'em kind of guy as well. He's an NBA aficionado. Great dude. All right, that's it for now. We got to get this show on the road. My guest today is a good friend of mine. I've known her for a while now, probably 3 years now. That's crazy. Time is flying. And got to watch her build a company and grow individually and also be a part of something really fun that we're doing with the Broker Carrier Summit. So I'm pretty excited to welcome back to the show my good friend from Greenscreens, the CEO, Dawn Salvucci-Favier. Dawn, what's up, my friend?
Hello. Data time.
Listen, you've been consistent with this walk-up song, and I like it.
I know, but I think I need to upgrade. I need to upgrade my my.
Are there? But is there another song that has to do with science that's cool and that's iconic?
Well, exactly. That's why I chose it. But hey, I'll take votes. If anybody wants to nominate a new walk-up song for me, I'm open to suggestions.
I'll tell you who might know is Alex Maurer. He's with Cool Way Logistics. I don't even know Alex from Alex, but he puts out.
I know Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. He puts out his monthly playlist. He used to be a DJ. He probably knows the song. Alex, we need your help, my friend.
All right.
If you're watching this, so give us a comment. Let us know what it is. How are you doing? How's everything going?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. I cannot believe it's December. We are just like Christmas is just right upon us. It's unbelievable how fast 2024 is gone.
It's too fast, way too fast. I feel like it's still June, but no, here we are, December.
Well, it's because you live in Florida. That's the problem.
I know, but we're having our winter right now, and I know all of you up north are gonna boo-hoo over this, but I'm cold. It's in the low 60s. It's getting down into the 40s at night. I'm cold. we turned on our heat for 5 minutes this morning just to kind of take the chill off. So
it's so funny. My aunt lived in Arizona, still does, but she lived in Arizona for years and years, and she would always say the same thing. Like, listen, we're all wearing coats down here. Like the high is only 65. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is ridiculous. But that's all right. That's okay. But the year's flying by tremendously fast. I'm thinking back to this. We met probably 2021, beginning of 2022, somewhere around there. So it's been like 3.5 years.
Exactly. Yeah. End of 21, beginning of 22. I'm trying to remember who introduced us. It might have been Ryan Schreiber.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean, it's a
remember
good
who
guess.
introduced, but it's been 3.5 years, I think,
I know it's
3 years.
been fun. You've grown Greenscreens. We had a chance to partner when you guys were building your brand right out of the gate, which was a blast,
Yeah.
and got to get the name out there, which was fun. Now we're doing stuff with Broker Carrier Summit. But before we talk about any of that, listen, I learned a little fun fact about you that I kind of knew, but I didn't know. I didn't know you called yourself this. You say you're a CEO by day, a groupie by night,
That's
because
right.
your husband, he's
That's
a
right.
well-known local musician. He plays at many venues. So nights and weekends, you're just T-Bone's wife, and
I'm
that's cool
just
with you.
T-Bone's wife, and that's really cool with me. I love it. I do, and I'm so proud of him, obviously, for what he does. But there's people that we know that they know me. They don't even know my name. They just know I'm T-Bone's wife, and I am totally cool with that because during the day and being the CEO, I kind of have to be the one a lot or at conferences or whatever. So I am totally cool with being T-Bone's wife. It's a lot of fun, and the music is great. So.
Well, I'm sure you don't wear the same outfits during your day job that you wear at night. Hopefully, you dress up a little bit and have a little fun with it, going out there listening to music. Yeah,
Well, I may dress down a little bit, right? Because it's a
dress
lot
down,
of
dress differently, whatever.
class,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just
Dress
just
down.
dress differently, but, yes, I do. I have a great time. It's a good time.
Now, was your husband known as T-Bone when you met him, or is this a nickname given to him after you guys were together?
No, we've been together for 38 years. I was 16, he was 17 when we met, so no. It's just become his stage name over the years, like, it's
Did you
just.
give it to him? Who gave him this name? This had to, what's
It
the
was
origin story?
actually an old friend of ours, back from the Boston area where we're from, who he actually played in a band with, and he was kind of a cool dude. He was like, "Oh, T-Bone, my friend," and it just kind of stuck because I think back then they were playing blues in the band, and T-Bone is really kind of a bluesy name, right? So yeah, it was just a longtime friend of ours back in the Boston area. Hey, Jim, I know you're not watching, but hey.
Thanks, Jim, for that. The gift that keeps on giving. Now,
Yeah.
does your husband have a T in the name or a B? I can't remember. Does he
His
have, or
his
is this,
name
or
is
is
his
this
name is Terry. Yeah, his
okay?
name is.
So it's not out of left field. Like it
No,
actually
no, no, no.
resonates a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
I think there was an episode of Seinfeld in which George was trying to get a new name, and he wanted to be called T-Bone.
Oh gosh.
And it didn't catch on, and they gave
Oh,
him a new nickname. I think there's an episode about that. If correct me if I'm wrong out
I'm
there,
gonna
but
have to find that.
that
That is
I think of
definitely
Seinfeld and I think of T-Bone when I think about that. But there's
okay.
there's an episode where he wanted a cool nickname and he came up with T-Bone. It made no sense because his name is George,
Yeah.
but this makes a little bit more
All
sense
right, I'm gonna
to
have to
know
find
that.
that Seinfeld episode. Yes.
I'm sure it's out there. It's a good clip. It's out there, that's for sure. All right, listen, we're going to talk a little bit today about leadership because what I have watched throughout the last 3 years is your leadership on display at Greenscreens, which we'll talk about that. Broker Carrier Summit, where you're a board member with me, and we get to have a lot of fun with that. With women logistics initiatives all throughout the industry, and just seeing how not only you have led people, but how people have responded and followed you. And the old adage is, if you want to know if you're a leader or not, just turn around and look behind you. And you certainly have incredible people that are following you, that are following your mission, your vision, what you have in store for Greenscreens, what we're doing with Broker Carrier Summit. Like, you're a mover and a shaker, my friend. And so we're going to talk about that today and jump on that. And before we do that, I do want to say congratulations. You got number 5 on the FreightWaves Freight Tech 25 at
We
F3 this year. Is that
we
right?
did, yes. Second year in a row.
Congratulations.
Yeah, second year in a row that we actually held the number 5 spot. So super proud of the team, really excited about it. Happy to be among a great group of really innovative, disruptive companies. So
Yeah, and you know what? I'm excited about this because I think that when that list first started to come out, which I think was like 2019 or something, they started creating this list. I felt like it had this pay to play feel, and the last 3 years they've started to really just recognize. It seems like the technology companies that are doing great work. There were a lot of new faces on there.
yeah.
Highway was on there again. Drum Kit was on there. There were a couple of others that were on there as well that are just making their way. First time people in the top 10. I think Q'd was on there.
Yeah.
My good friend Tom Curie and Prasad Galopoli doing that. So it's neat to see, I think, the true recognition of the technology companies that are making waves in the industry. What's your take on that? Have you felt that way? I know you're a part of it, you're a little biased, but what's your take on
No, absolutely. And I think, last year when Craig Fuller announced the top 25, he made the comment. He said, this is the most disruptive list that we have ever seen. And for my company, for Green Screens specifically, we went from not even appearing in the top 100 the prior year because we were still really new to earning that number 5 spot last year and then maintaining it this year. So it's been really excited. But yeah, I mean, Highway was on the list last year for the first time as well. They're even newer in the market than we are. Obviously, won the number 1 spot deservedly this year. They're doing some great things for a huge issue in the industry. You mentioned Q, Drum Kit. So a lot of really innovative, disruptive companies that are doing some really cool things in the industry. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I was glad to see that. I was bummed to have to miss it, but it was neat to see you guys on the list as well. Obviously, Green Screens, I'm a big fan of the brand of the company, of the team. And let's talk about the team, because one thing that I've noticed is, it's one thing to build a great product, and I think that's the beginning of a great company, is actually having something good to sell, something that provides value, a service or a technology or whatever it is. But then that can get derailed pretty quickly if you don't have a strong team. And that's what you've built at Greenscreens, is an incredibly strong team of people that I highly respect. I enjoy working with. I know you enjoy getting to work with on a daily basis as a CEO. Talk about that journey and what you learned in your career that helped you prepare for this time and building this team.
Oh wow, that's a loaded
It's a
question.
biggie right out of the gate. It's a
Like right
biggie.
out of the gate. No, I mean, look, I think the important thing and what I have sought to do in building the team at Greenscreens is not hiring people who are like me or replicate me, but people who fill in my blind spots, right? People who bring things to the table that I don't have. Um, and that goes back to the very beginning. I think a lot of you have heard my story. When I joined Greenscreens, it was not intended that I was going to be the CEO permanently. I was going to be the interim CEO and try to help to find the permanent CEO and then kind of slide over into more of that product leadership role. And as I was going through and interviewing some of the candidates to become the CEO, I kept saying, no, these people have the same skill set that I do. We don't need 2 of me, right? We don't need, the world can't handle 2 of me. No, I'm kidding. We don't need 2 of me, right? We need somebody that complements my skills and fills in my blind spots and has experience doing the things that I haven't done, right? So I think that's one really key thing in building the team here is don't seek to hire people who are like you, right? Hire the people that complement you. I think another one of the reasons we've been really successful here early on at Greenscreens is, really taking the position that I want my team in any certainly customer facing role to have real customer empathy, like to feel the problem, or as our CTO, Matt Harding, likes to say, people who love the problem more than those that are experiencing it, right? Or, again, who have sat in the seat. So I think we've done a really good job of finding in many cases the unicorns, right? People who have sat in the seat of our target audience, which is freight brokers today, but also have developed a skill set, complementary skill set, whether that's understanding how to sell or customer success or implementation or data analysts. But the majority of that team, the large majority of that team has sat in that seat, or at the very least, have that empathy and love the problem more than those that are experiencing it. And look, I think that comes from my background. I actually I've been in freight for a long time, and I was that person coming into freight that knew nothing. Literally didn't know the difference between a tractor and a trailer when I started a long, long time ago. But, even as I came into tech and had the privilege of working for some large publicly traded companies and everything, is just seeing what happens when you hire an echo chamber, I guess. You don't want that, right? You want the people who are going to speak truth to power and again compliment you and can mentor you. So that's kind of my journey, right? And people who are committed to the mission of the company, right? And have integrity and are authentic, and those are the type of people I'm looking for. Now it helps that early on here at Greenscreens, I aligned myself with one of the best recruiters I've ever worked with, Wasim Munir. For those of you that don't know him, who just
You
really got
should.
you should, who really got our company, got our values, understood really precisely the people that were going to work out well for us here. I would say up until early this year, he had placed probably more than 60% of our people in the US, because he just kept bringing these great candidates to us, despite the fact that, we have a huge network to choose from. But he was finding those unicorns for us.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. And I want to go back to one thing you said before we continue on, and that is you kept bringing up the word empathy. This is something that we talk about a lot on this show. I talk about it a lot when I talk about marketing and how you communicate with people. You have to be able to express empathy, but even more than that, you have to actually feel empathy. You need to be empathetic about the problem, about what somebody's actually experiencing and how it's impacting their business. And what I'm seeing nowadays in transportation technology in particular is a trend around hiring people who used to be freight brokers to sell tech to freight brokers because they clearly experienced the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. I only brokered freight for 6 months, so I don't know as much about brokering freight as somebody who did it for 4, 5, 6 years, who can say, man, we lived that every day, or man, every month that was a problem. We just kept dealing with that over and over. And they have the empathy on a greater scale, on a grander scale. And I think that's a really great tactic, is to find people who have sat in that chair and said, man, I've dealt with this. I've felt the pain and the frustration of this. I've stayed late after work because this was a problem, or whatever it might be. I lost loads, lost money, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean, look, over the past 15 or 20 years, user personas have become a big thing. And I can remember when I was first introduced to it. And there's a part of user personas that they teach you that it's like, well, this is Trey, and Trey is, a father of 3 children, and this is what he does when he leaves at the end of the day. And initially I was like, I don't care what they do at the end of the day. I only care what they're doing at work. But um, I think the empathy comes from understanding that, like, this is what you like to do at the end of the day. You like to go home and spend time with your girls. And I'm sorry, I said 3. That was wrong. You like to go home and spend time with your girls and with your wife. And what is going to keep you from doing that when you're at the office, right? And that's, I think, the empathy comes from really having lived that, right? And truly understanding it.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference. And again, I know your team and I've seen that work out. So you guys have definitely hired in that vein very, very well. And then along with that, just incredibly like nice people. And this is something that I think people don't appreciate about sales, is that a big part of sales is being liked. I mean, people need to enjoy working with you. I mean, sometimes they can look past that if they have a need strong enough and your product is strong enough, they can look past it. I mean, nobody wants to buy a car from a jerk, for example. You want to have a good experience when you do that. When you're talking to somebody about spending thousands of dollars a month on data that's going to help them out, they also want to have people that are friendly, who are nice. You guys have accomplished that in a tremendous way. And there's a balance here, because you need to hire people who are aligned on the vision. You guys are all the same when it comes to vision, but you're different when it comes to skill sets. And that's a tough thing to balance. And it also creates a lot of discomfort. I mean, you have to be willing to work with people that are different than you, who think differently, but different backgrounds, who are willing to step up and say, I don't agree with this. I think this is maybe not the right path. And you guys have seemed to manage that balance of alignment and unity and vision, also with distinct skill sets.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for recognizing that, because it is really important to me. And I think, I mentioned authenticity, and it kind of comes out in our marketing message, right? No BS, just GS. And that's not just a marketing message for us. That's the way we live, both inside and outside the company. It's like, be authentic, no BS. I've told my salespeople, and when I'm interviewing new salespeople, I'm like, look, I am never going to fire you for not closing a deal, or even multiple deals. I'm not going to fire you for that. I will fire you for being dishonest or overselling a customer in order to close that deal, because that creates problems throughout the entire organization. So maybe you have closed that deal, but then customer success is going to struggle, and development, maybe now our roadmap gets disrupted because the customer's been oversold, and finance has pain because they're trying to collect money from a customer that isn't happy and doesn't want to pay. And so it really does all start with sales. To your point, nobody wants to buy software from a jerk, but nobody wants to be oversold. And I've lived that in my past life, where being left holding the bag when sales may have oversold something. I've also lived in an environment that wasn't necessarily authentic and transparent, and it became very toxic to me. And I don't want to say that the company was toxic, but the environment became toxic to me, to the extent that I didn't like the person it was making me become. And I committed when I came here, I was not going to recreate that type of environment and that type of culture here, right? You need to love what you do. You need to love the people you're doing with, and you need to be committed to the mission and the vision of the company.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think you guys have done a tremendous job, and I'm excited to see where, where it goes here in 2025. Speaking of which, I think that we should switch gears for a minute because the two things I want to talk about to help freight brokers out there who are watching the show is I want to talk about how to really evaluate technology. What are questions that freight brokers should ask? What should they think about? What are maybe some things that they should evaluate that maybe don't even land on their radar? I've got a couple of mine that I might add in there as well. And then what are some of the trends that we're seeing in freight rates and volumes? And I'll let you take either one of those first, whichever one you like best. Like, how do we want to evaluate technology? What trends are we seeing in freight rates and volumes? Where's this heading?
You're giving me the whoppers today. Look, I mean, I
I know you
think.
can handle it, my friend. I know you can handle it.
Thank you. Look, I think when you're evaluating technology, ask to talk to some of their customers, or don't even ask. Use your network. And one of the things, I'm often asked, what are you most proud of at Greenscreens, right? We have a lot to be proud of, but what are you most proud of? And my answer is always the same. What makes me the most proud is the way I hear our customers talk about us. And Trey, I think that's how we first got engaged, was you were helping us really get some of those customer testimonials out there. We had a lot of customers that were willing to speak well of us, but just didn't have the bandwidth to record the videos, get the case studies together, because we were kind of bootstrapped from a marketing perspective. and
Right.
and now it's just kind of become a life of its own. So that is, one thing that I'm most proud of is our customers are often our best salespeople. So talk to their customers, whether it's arranged by the vendor, and often it's better when it's not arranged by the vendor, but talk to the customers, right? And compare the problems that you have with those other customers of your vendor. But ask the questions, not just about the product, but about the onboarding process and the people, right? Are the people reasonable to work with? Do they follow through? Do they do what they say they're going to do? Are they authentic? And do they have integrity? And ask those questions. But, beyond that, I think it is, about delivery. Do they deliver what they say they're going to deliver to? And, look, sometimes it doesn't matter that a piece of technology might not have all the features or the clicks or the buttons that you're looking for. But if the vendor has made a commitment that they're going to deliver that to you, make sure that there is a plan to actually deliver that. It is often worthwhile, giving the company the chance that maybe they don't have all the bells and whistles that you're looking for, but if they do the most painful things in your operation extraordinarily well, give them a chance. I mean, what we like to say is the problem that we're trying to solve for our customers is death by 1,000 cuts, right? You may not feel, you feel a bunch of little cuts, but before you know it, you're bleeding from 1,000 different places in your body, and the blood loss is eventually going to get you. Now, I'm going to contrast with a company great company. This is not to downplay at all what they do, but Highway, again, great company, love them, great partner. I think they're solving a huge problem and they're doing it really well. You experience one major fraud incident, that's like a gaping, fatal wound right there, right? So the value proposition associated with fraud, technology is well known, well understood. In other areas of technology, sometimes that value proposition isn't quite as painful, right? Again, the death by 1,000 cuts, like in our case, losing loads because of pricing, right? Or losing margin or whatever. So be really introspective. But I think the last thing I'll say on the technology piece is when you are evaluating technology and you're trying to build your business case for the technology, ensure that your business case aligns with the way that your people are incentivized, right? Because too often I have seen where the ROI or the business case associated with technology isn't aligned with how the end users, the people who need to adopt the technology and put it to the best use, are not aligned. And then you are going to have adoption problems and change management problems and all of those things.
Yeah, that's a major problem with technology is if you can't get adoption or change management right, it often
Yep.
doesn't go anywhere. But something else you said I think is valuable. You talked about testimonials and how willing your customers were to speak on your behalf. And I was just listening to a podcast this morning from Ed Milet with Rory Vaden on. And Rory Vaden's a very popular brand and marketing consultant, just universally, not in our industry, but universally. And he said the number one reason why people will buy from you is because of what your customers say. It's the number one reason. And a lot of companies miss that. They don't understand the value of that, of getting your customers a chance to share what their experience has been and talk to your prospects. I learned this a long time ago. One of the best marketing strategies that we had at a former company that I was at was we'd have regional events. And we found out where the clusters were, where the customers and the prospects were clustered, and we need to go do a dinner or go do a game and to a suite, bring them together and just let them talk for like 4 hours. No agenda, just let them talk. And at the end of the night, these prospects would come up and say, "Hey, we got to get this going."
Yeah, exactly.
Our customers sold it. It was so powerful, and I think a lot of people miss out on the power of customers speaking on your behalf.
And we do a lot of local happy hours and things like that for exactly that reason. Is just get a group of people in the room,
get them together.
Yep.
I know, it gets them together. I mean, it's the whole premise behind the Broker Carrier Summit, which we're probably going to get to today, but that's okay. I want to ask this last question before we have a little bit of fun, and that is, what trends are we seeing here in freight rates and volumes moving forward? I think I just got one of the marketing emails you guys sent out, talked about where rates were headed. It looked like it was kind of a negative, compression right now. But what are you kind of seeing trend wise? What do you expect? I know it's a kind of an 8-ball situation. You don't know the future, but what are you seeing trend wise?
I got burned last year, so I hesitate to really predict the future because a year ago,
we'll put an asterisk on this one.
I think I stood on the stage at Broker Carrier Summit last October and said, by this time next year, we are going to have and I got burned on that. So I'm going to hesitate. But look, I mean, what I've been saying now for several months is signals, not trends. I'm not willing to call it a trend yet. But we are seeing a lot of the positive signals in the data, right? And I can even go back to the summertime with that, where over the summer holidays, it was really the first time that we saw touches of normal seasonality, right? That we hadn't seen in the post-pandemic era yet. So some of that returning, I think there's just some renewed positive sentiment or optimism in the market, right? I think, the first half of this year, as far as technology spend goes, a lot of companies were hesitant and kind of taking a wait and see attitude. We're seeing that starting to loosen up, which tells me that others in the business, are starting to also see the signals and the trends. But my prediction is slow but steady. Right. I think we are on the upcycle. It's not going to happen overnight. It never does. But I think this is going to be slower than any of us want it to be. But it'll be slow, steady.
Certainly compared to the pandemic era, it's going to feel like it's not moving at all. But I think you're right. I think the signals are definitely moving in the right direction.
Well, of course. And we're not going to return to pandemic era. This is going to be really more like the 2018, 2019. And I mean, look, whenever we've seen a major shift in our market, it's either been driven by a pandemic or some type of regulation, which yet remains to be seen, right? We'll see what new policies the new administration comes in with. And is there anything major that's going to, change, be a driving force in our market? I'm not anticipating that, right? So I think, tariffs, maybe. I don't know. The jury is still out on the impact to the freight market that tariffs are going to have. So I think it's still a little bit of a wait and see, but I think we are in a kind of a slow, steady improvement, but more similar to 17, 18, 19 than a 21, 22.
We are certainly in the midst of a strong holiday shopping season.
We are.
Thanksgiving recently. Strong numbers
Cyber
there.
Monday, 7% increase year over year.
We'll see how it all turns out for the whole season, but so far those trends seem to be, or signals seem to be pretty strong. Yep. So I hope you're right. And I think especially for technology, for service providers like myself, we tend to be downstream of what happens in the freight market with carriers and brokers. And so I think seeing that loosen up, seeing people investing more in technology, I'm seeing people starting to invest more in their brand and marketing. It's all good signs, all good signals, which is great. That's for sure. All right, my friend, it's time to have a little fun. Okay. You have your pad of paper with you. You got a pen. We're going to play a fun game today called Wavelength. All right, here's how it goes. It's just what it sounds like. You and I have got to be on the same wavelength here. Our producer is going to put a category and a letter up on the screen, and we have to try to come up with the same word based on that clue. All right, now let's look at the average. The average is 2 out of 5. We're going to do 5 of these. The average is 2 out of 5. The exceptional so far has been 3 out of 5. It's really hard to get more than 3 out of 5 of these, but we've done it a couple times on here. So we'll see how we do.
Right.
We'll see if you and I mean, we're on the same wavelength for a lot of things, my friend. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful today. I'm optimistic. We'll have to see how this goes. All right, here we go. The first one today is boy names that start with S. Okay, I got one. I'm feeling good right out of the gate on this one. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we're on the same. Okay, so I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. When I get to 1, we're going to put our pad up to the screen. This is backwards. But we're going to put it up to the screen like that. We're going to show our word. We'll see if we're together. Okay, now put it up the right way. All right, here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1. Steve.
Steven.
What do you got? That counts. We're counting that.
All
that
right.
counts. 1 for 1. We're off to a flaming hot start here.
There we go.
On wavelength. Here we go. The second one. Here we go. We got a famous actors or actress that starts with M. We'll do first letter M. First letter M. Actors or actress. All right. And I'm saying if we get the first name right, we're good. But I'm going to try to get the whole name. The whole name. I got. Okay, come on.
It's a long one. Hold on.
Listen, we're from the same era. We have to be. We got it. Okay, here we go.
I'm going to spell this last name wrong, but you'll know.
Oh no, that's not good because this one's easy.
Uh-oh.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Matt Damon.
Matthew McConaughey. We got
the Matt. I think we go half point on that. Okay. We get half point. 1.5. All right, so we're at 1.5. Okay, so we're off to it. This is still a solid start.
I have to tell you why I came up with this one though, because I was thinking about our history, and I was thinking about the Eagles, and then I was thinking about Silver Lining Playbook, and
yes.
Actually, that's the wrong actor. Never mind. But anyway.
That's a lot of thought into that. But that's okay. Well, he's from Texas. Wolf of Wall Street. Whatever. It's all good. Okay, next one. Number 3. Here we go. Movies that start with B. Okay, I got one right out. Just right out of the gate. I got one. Normally, I don't get them this fast, but my mind is working today. All right, my friend. Let's go. I'm going to send this vibe your way. Come on, I know you can do this. I know we can be on the same page here. Here we go. Ready? Right. 3, 2, 1. Batman.
Bewitched. We didn't get that one.
I'm gonna listen. We just talked about Wicked. I should have known. That's on me. All right, here we go. Number 4. Animals that start with an R, and I've got them. I'll tell you what. They are coming fast and furious today. I don't know if we're gonna get this one. There's too many. I've got 3 or 4 of them in my head already. I don't know if we're gonna get this one or not. You ready? All right. 3, 2, 1. Raccoon. Let's go. All right. Okay, listen, we are at 2.5. If we get this will be 3.5. It'll be the most ever on Standing Out for you and me. All right. No pressure. Make it a good one. Make it easy, producer. Here we go. Fruit that starts with a P. Okay. This is my favorite fruit. I don't know if I gave it away or not.
I'm ready.
I'm nervous. Let's see if we got it. 3, 2, 1. Pineapple. Let's go. Yes! 3.5. Listen, I was in between pear and pineapple on that. I wasn't sure which way to go, but man, pineapple's my favorite, so I had to go with it. I had to go with the gut. Oh, 3.5. Congratulations.
Yes, I love it.
Dude, that was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. We've not had that kind of, effort on this show so far. Yeah, the children are even. Yeah, we got applause from the kids today. It's just tremendous. So that was awesome, my friend. Thank you so much. All right, a couple more things. Random question of the day. Always like to have a little fun with this. Here's a random question of the day. I haven't seen this yet. It could be funny, could be serious, could be a good question, could be a dud. I don't know. The random question of the day today is: if animals could talk, which would be the smartest? Oh. Ooh. I have a take on this already. I've got an idea.
If animals could talk, which would be the smartest? Where's my Jeopardy music?
No, we should have Jeopardy music on here somewhere, but we don't. How about Ted Lasso? What if we do?
All right.
Not the same. It's not the same. Okay. All right. What do you got? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with the first thing that came to my mind, and that's dogs.
Oh, okay. Dogs. All right.
I think because
are you a dog owner, dog lover?
I am a dog owner.
Okay.
And I have one dog that I tell him all the time, "Oh, you're smarter than you look." But I just think because they're so domesticated, right? And they observe so much of the human. Not to say that humans are the smartest, because some aren't. But I think because dogs are so domesticated and they observe so much human behavior. And let's face it, they know how to manipulate us. Like they are like, I see what you just did there, right? As soon
Yeah,
as
yeah,
you
yeah.
get up, the
Yeah.
dog moves right into the warm spot. Like, yeah, that I say
Mhm.
dogs,
I've taken walks in the cold I didn't want to take because the dog was at the door. Like, come on,
right?
let's go. It
See, there you
happens. It
go.
happens. Okay, so that's interesting. I was going to go with either elephant because I've heard they're really smart. I've
Okay.
heard elephants. If they could talk, I'd be curious about that. But then my other would be, I think like I want to say lion. If lion's the king of the jungle, they gotta be smart. I think. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's one of those two. But my first take was elephant because I've heard elephants are
Okay.
really
Yeah.
smart.
I've heard the same. Heard the
I
same.
don't know. They're incredible beasts. Sometimes I find myself just watching videos from Africa of elephants.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's the brain rot that I'm doing, but it's a lot of fun. It's a good time. Okay, all right. Okay, so dog for you, elephant for me. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna finish off with this. Christmas is right around the corner. Got any plans? What's the holidays look like with T-Bone and T-Bone's wife?
Lots of live music for sure. Uh,
Really? Okay, Christmas music, live music. Like, do they do a whole
no,
Christmas
no,
set?
with him playing. So lots
Yeah, but,
of.
he, but I'm saying like he plays Christmas music as well. They got a whole set
No,
of
in
of that.
fact, he with his duo act that he's in there playing a Christmas party, and his partner's
Hmm.
like, "We need to learn some Christmas songs," and he's like, "I'm not going to learn any Christmas songs. I'm just going to go play my thing." So, he may be learning some right now. He's out in his
There's
trailer
enough
playing.
Christmas
So,
music
but
out there in
yeah,
the world.
no,
There's
just
not a lot
live
of T-Bone.
music. Look, my kids are grown and they both have their own families, and we tend to only get together every other year because I've had to learn how to share my children with the in-laws and the other family. So it'll be quiet. We're not going to have a big family gathering this year, but so no big plans. But I'm looking forward to just
Yeah.
enjoying the holiday. And I'm one of those people like no Christmas discussion pre-Thanksgiving. So I'm just now
Mm.
getting
You're
into the
just now
Christmas
getting
groove.
into it.
Yeah.
What's
T-Bone
wrong
just
with that
took
is
the
it's
decorations out of the rafters so I can actually start working on decorating this week. So
see the flaw with that philosophy, Don, I have to tell you, is that you have a shortened window to enjoy Christmas because especially this year, Thanksgiving was so late
no,
that you get 3 weeks. I mean, if there's ever a year to change the policy, it was this year, maybe next year. Same thing. We're late in the year next year. So
I
just throwing
know.
that out there.
Well, but it also, being in my role, budgets and annual planning and all of the things. And I told my team I want it done by December 15th because I don't want to be literally signing on December 24th, trying to email a budget off to the board for approval before the end of the year and all that. So it's a
That's right.
very busy, stressful time of the year, but I'm looking forward to kind of rolling into it.
We're gonna need some live video of T-Bone, like this little selfie video, something like that, sent our way. Post online. We got to see T-Bone in action and see
Okay,
T-Bone's
I will.
wife out there doing the whole,
I will.
whatever it is, the groupie gown and what you guys do as a
Listen,
group, whatever. We got to see it. We got to see it out there.
yeah,
We got to see the believe.
some of that is not suitable for work. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
right.
But hey, what about you and your family? I know your girls are you love spending time with your girls. What are you doing for the holidays?
Yeah, this year we're just going to be home. So last year we took them to New York. We took them to some musicals. It was kind of a really special time because they both love musicals, and we wanted to go up there and do that for them. So we had planned a trip last year. This year we're just chilling at home. It's going to be exciting. I haven't done that in a couple of years where we've just sat around the house, and so we're just going to sit around the house and enjoy some football and time together and go sledding. Hopefully, if we get some snow, we got snow right now. Hopefully, get a
Yeah.
little more this year. But that's really about it. So it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna look forward to that. And Greenscreens, you guys got a couple things coming up. You got some new products you're launching. Got a couple things going on. What can we see from Greenscreens in 2025?
2025, we're going to have even more products. The one you mentioned earlier this year, we introduced a product called Greenscreens Ignite. We have just recently now launched a product called Greenscreens Illuminate. Both of those are really kind of taking the power of green screens and our data and our analytics from being what was previously more of a transactional tool and really elevating that to more of a strategic analysis policy setting tool. So Ignite is on the sales side. So your pricing strategy, and Illuminate is on the buy side. So sourcing capacity side. So really looking forward to that. Um, we're actually launching a bundle. So if you can get both as a bundled special offer coming up here for the holidays. So be on the lookout for that. Going into 2025. So earlier this year, we did announce that we were making a move into the shipper market with a new product line very different than what we offer to freight brokers today, really helping them to optimize their sourcing strategy to be really more dynamic. That is currently in pilot. We expect that going into the second quarter of next year, that will come out of pilot into a commercial offering. We have our long-term forecasting algorithm coming out in Q1. The one thing you can count on us in 2025 is that we will continue to innovate and solving really hard problems.
Yeah, and all your products start with an I. Are we going to keep the trend going? Are they all going to have
We're
an
gonna
I to
try.
start?
We're gonna try. So we had Insights, which was really more of a performance management reporting tool, and then we've added Ignite to ignite your sales strategy and Illuminate to illuminate the market.
I know.
And
It's all
now
eyes.
we may run out. We may run out, but we'll see.
You have to come up with a product that puts people in the dark and call it Greenscreens
Yes.
Island. That's what
Yeah.
you're going to do. You're going to put them
ChatGPT
out on
and
an island.
the thesaurus are my friend these days
Are
for
your friends
sure.
right now? Oh, love it. Well, Don, hey, thanks for stopping by today and hanging out with us and talking about what's going on, not only at Green Screens, but with your career and leadership. We appreciate all of that and
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see you soon. We didn't talk about it, but we're going to see you soon at the Broker Carrier Summit in April. Lots of good things going on in the industry. Until that time, though, have a great Christmas.
Thank you. You too. And I'm counting on another Super Bowl bet this year.
Oh, I hope we're right about this. I mean,
Me
Eagles
too.
Chiefs is lining up a little bit right now. Eagles look strong.
Yeah,
I
they
can't
do.
believe we didn't talk about that either. This could have been an hour and a half, but
It
that's
could have
okay.
been.
We'll
Could
let
have
it go
been.
for
That's all
today.
right. All
And
right. Thanks,
enjoy
Trey.
your holiday, my friend. We'll talk to you
You
soon.
too. Always a pleasure.
All right, everybody, make sure you come by every Tuesday for a wonderful episode of Standing Out with great guests like Dawn. And also be sure to check us out online at betaconsultinggroup.com. See how we can help you tell your story, get your brand out there. And we didn't mention it earlier, but you might as well, if you're a broker or carrier, you might as well come to the Broker Carrier Summit. You can find out more about that and register right now for the summit in Indy, April 28th through May 2nd by going to brokercarriersummit.com. Early bird pricing still in effect, so you should take advantage of that. May have some holiday specials, so just keep your eyes and ears open for that. And until next time, my friend, remember, stop standing still, start standing out. We'll see you soon.